is Nepal. With a population of over 29 million people, an ever-developing country in the south of Asia, mainly situated in the Himalayas bordering countries such as China and India. It's home to the famous Mount Everest. What's up guys, welcome back to another episode, currently here in London.
Hi guys.
So guys, I know we're currently not in Nepal anymore, however we've got so many things to talk about, and this video specifically is going to be our favourite things that we did in Nepal, and also a mini guide for anybody that's going to be travelling to Nepal. So it's going to cover numerous amount of things, such as how much does everything cost essentially, from hotels or trekking gear. Make sure you watch till the end so you don't miss out on any of the fine details, because to be honest, all the things that we're going to talk about is not in particular order, so you want to stay right till the end so you don't miss out on anything at all.
So guys, strap yourselves on. We are going to get through a lot of information, and what I'd advise is stay until the end, because I wish me and Yad had somebody to tell us all the little details that we are going to give you today.
Yep. So guys, let's do this. First things first is going to be the visa, and I've just written a few notes here for myself just to kind of make sure I've got all the accurate information for you guys when you go. So for us, because we've got European passport, well, British used to be in the EU, but it still follows the kind of same guidelines. So we was able to actually get a visa on arrival. So when we landed, we just had to go to the side, and there was like these computers that we just had to fill some information in, which took no longer than about 5 minutes. So once you complete that process, there's another bit where you go just before you reach into the country. You just pay, I think it was between 30 to 40 US dollars for the actual visa itself. But guys, whichever country you're from, just do make sure you double check online on the website, and I'll leave the link of the Nepalese government website where you can check which passport is relevant to you. So, because I know maybe some different countries are going to have different rules. Secondly, we'll don't want to mention the C word, but you know, it is still around unfortunately, and some countries do have requirements for it. So with Nepal, they either wanted a proof of vaccination or a PCR test. However, before you guys go, do make sure you check this, because as we know, this thing changes every other day. So just to be safe, double check. Also, one thing I love to do, or shall I say we love to do, whichever country that we travel to, is always buy a local SIM card. Otherwise, if you use the SIM card from your home country, you know how it is, you're going to get charged God knows how much. So great thing is, as soon as you come into the airport, if you just walk in, it costs around 5 US dollars, and the data that you get was also respectable. It was around 12 GB, or actually even more. I think
much more than that, yeah.
Much more, but I'll leave the details here as I'm speaking. I can't remember exactly, but I'll double check that.
So guys, as you know, travel is a very individual thing. So we personally really enjoyed Kathmandu. A lot of people don't like the hustle and bustle, but we did.
We love it though.
We loved it, because I think when you dive into the city where the locals are at and everything, it really gives you the good feel about where you're at and what the country is all about. If you are on the same page, then we would highly recommend to stay in Kathmandu for say 2-3 days. And if you do, then I'd highly recommend Tamil area, which is where we stayed. We stayed at a hotel called Jumper. It was right in the middle of everything. We could literally walk to everywhere we needed to get to, and it was $40 a night. It wasn't luxury, but it had everything we needed, and it was clean. What we loved about the area is that obviously we were preparing for the trek, and so we were able to get all our trekking gear right there in Tamil.
Yeah, it's where we met Sushil, which you guys may have seen in one of the other vlogs, the most famous shopkeeper.
And yeah, if you do buy trekking gear, then definitely go and see Sushil, because he will give you the best price.
Yeah, when you go to see him, show this video, hopefully he recognizes us, but he's an absolute legend.
He's an absolute legend, a representation of true Nepali hospitality, I would say. Also, the good thing about Tamil is that when you want to go and do sightseeing to the various stupas, or you know, all the sort of historical sites, it's very easy to take a taxi, which is extremely cheap. So again, if you're only passing through Kathmandu, Tamil for me was the best place to stay at. Just to mention that the taxi journey to Tamil, to our hotel, was only about 30 minutes from Kathmandu airport.
And how much did it cost again?
I wouldn't know, because we actually had a tour guide booked, and our taxi pickup was included, but I don't think it would be anything more than $25 possibly.
Yeah, it was around that much. So you shouldn't, you know, on the day some people might try to charge more, but we'll probably recommend our guide. I mean, it's totally up to you guys. You know how it is when you come to a new country. You're highly likely, if you haven't already arranged a pickup service, you are going to pay more. Doesn't matter where you are, in the west or the south of Asia, you will always eventually pay more. However, if you want to kind of eradicate that, then you can prepare to give our guy a call, and I'm sure he can arrange something for you guys.
And also, typically, when you book hotels around Tamil, the hotels offer you a complimentary pickup from the airport. So when you do select your hotel, you can just pick this option, and it's just very nice when you arrive after a long flight to have someone to receive you and just take you to your hotel, so you don't need to worry about all the logistics after you're, you know, tired from a very long flight.
Yeah, exactly. So when it comes to transportation, you can get taxis which are on the street. However, what we found is they charge almost double than the application, because one of the evenings when we went out for our anniversary dinner, if you guys haven't seen that vlog, go check it out, because we did get just a taxi from our hotel on the street. They charged us like double than what this application is that I'm about to tell you. So just bear that in mind. We use an application over in Nepal called Patheo, and this is what it looks like. I'll also leave the details of the application, and this is not sponsored, by the way, just to let you guys know. You can download it. It works very, very similar to Uber, and it's easy to use. You can pay by cash, which I recommend because that is what they say, or you can pay by card. It's totally up to you guys.
And most importantly, make sure you tip these guys well, because the trips are extremely cheap, and so if you just give them all a little tip, then that would be much appreciated, especially as the country is still recovering from COVID. They've only opened up recently.
And the earthquake.
Well, yeah, I mean, so yeah, make sure you take care of the local people.
Yeah, and you'll probably find every time they drop you off, they'll say kind of what you're doing later, because they want to, you know, make sure they accommodate you and probably pick you up later too. So don't be too afraid when they ask those questions. It's literally just to make sure that you guys, you know, you're totally covered for your duration of the trip. Now we're going to jump into some of the exciting things, because what you're going to do when you actually reach Kathmandu, some of the fun things, cool places to see, and also things that we recommend you guys do also.
So first place we went to visit was Patan Durbar Square. It's one of the UNESCO heritage sites, and it's honestly one of the most historic and beautiful places. It's essentially a square filled with temples, and it's almost a center for both the Buddhism and Hinduism. We paid about 1,000 rupees each to get in.
Which is about $8.
Yeah, but we felt it was fully worth it, because I don't know if you've heard, guys, but Nepali people were hit with an earthquake back in 2015, and majority of the sites were demolished. So they're currently in a process of still rebuilding it. So it's amazing to visit the site, because it's really, really enjoyable, but also it'll be your contribution to this UNESCO heritage sites to help them to rebuild it.
So, and what you'll realize when you're actually there, there's a lot of construction still going on, so every bit of money that goes to them is actually contributing to rebuild that too. And guys, if you fancy having a guide there, that is available as well, and they were quoting us about $20. But to be honest, as I mentioned in some of the other vlogs, typically when we travel, we prefer to kind of, you know, just explore ourselves and just get lost in places that we go to and just find things ourselves. However, they do have a lot of valuable information that they could offer you. So if you're just going there for like tourism purposes and you really do want to learn the in-depth detail of everything, then I'll probably recommend it. However, if you just want to go and walk and, you know, do your own thing, then at the same time, you also don't have to take a guide. However, they will, you know, try to really push it on you, but, you know, don't feel uncomfortable. It's just the way it is.
And there's always Mr. Google to help you out. I absolutely love just to dive into sites myself, and then I always just read up on Google a little bit about the meaning behind things, etc. But if you really want someone to walk you through things and give you a proper full laydown on what it's all about, then go ahead with a guide. The next thing to do, which we were quite interested to see, was Kathmandu Durbar Square. There's quite a few of them. This is in Kathmandu Valley. I think it's one of the oldest ones, and it's located opposite the royal palace of the Kathmandu kingdom. It was definitely a place worth visiting, but it was quite heavily damaged by the earthquake as well. So again, lots of construction works were happening, but we did manage to meet some very enthusiastic local boys, right?
Yeah, his name was, if you're watching, I do remember your name, it's Prasid de Koela. And hopefully I've said that right. So I do remember you.
Yeah, so it's definitely worth visiting. And again, the entrance was around 1,000 rupees. So again, around $8, I think that was. Yeah. But totally worth a visit, especially as when you come out of the square, there was like a beautiful little shopping street where there was lots of coffee shops and souvenirs. So it's just a lovely, lovely walk to do after you're done with the square.
And then once you finish from there, there's another area which is about 10-minute walk from there, 10-15 minutes or so, and it's called the Garden of Dreams. Great place just to literally go and relax, get away from the hustle and bustle, because if you haven't been to Kathmandu before, the best way to put it, it has, you know, different sides to it, but mostly it is quite busy. It's a very, very highly populated city, so during the day it can get quite hectic. So it's nice just to step away and head over to this place called Garden of Dreams. Really, really well kept, so beautiful, really, really green, and just go there and relax.
The entrance for tourists was 200 rupees, which honestly I think is just under $2.
Yeah.
And for residents 100 rupees, so it's very cheap, but it's very worth it. It's so peaceful, quiet, and it was just perfect for us to unwind and get our heads together after having traveled half of Kathmandu in a day.
Exactly.
So from Patan, hop in a cab and make your way to the next temple, which you absolutely have to visit. It's known as a monkey temple, but the correct name in Nepalese is, let me read that, Swayambhunath Temple. I hope I got that right.
Yeah. I said it wrong the whole time I was there, so really sorry about that, guys, but still learning.
Still learning. And it was only 200 rupees to get in, which is, I think, around about $2, so very cheap. You can ask your driver to drop you at the bottom of the stairs, and you just enjoy amazing views as you go up. You have monkeys and dogs playing around and lots of vendors selling, you know, unique Nepalese souvenirs. It's an amazing little walk up until you get to the actual temples themselves. Once you're done with walking around the site, we've noticed a little art gallery behind, which was a really interesting experience because it was just lovely to see all the local art. And we've also managed to find a little cafe right on the rooftop and enjoy all the views with a cup of coffee, which we thought was just a great experience.
Yeah. So next on the list is going and trying out some famous Nepalese food, and that's exactly what we did for our anniversary, which was probably one of the most special dinners we've ever experienced in our life, because we've never been to a restaurant, firstly, that they have a menu with our name on it.
It was personalized, yeah, to our names, which was just a beautiful personal touch.
Well, firstly, let me say what the name of this restaurant is. It's called
Krishna Pan.
Krishna Pan, I should say it a bit faster, and it's in Dwarika Hotel. So guys, I had a lot of comments actually about the name of this restaurant in the video itself, but on the video I always title it, so every time wherever I go I always title the locations that I go to, but I guess that can get missed as well. If you're somebody that's also watched that video, I'd like to officially apologize to the local Nepalese people for using the Bollywood music at the end of it. That was I guess naive of me to have done that, and I'll be honest, it's very difficult to find music that's very relative to the country, because as YouTubers, we actually always have a copyright free website that we actually pay for, so on a monthly basis, and when we search for music, it always basically does it by genre or like by type of continent, country, so it's not specific to a specific country. But anyway, again, apologize for that, guys, and I think after reading all the comments that you guys gave me, I definitely learnt from it, and all the other videos I did my very best to make sure whatever I found had some beautiful Nepalese flutes in there so it can be relevant to the country of Nepal. This restaurant, if you know you're into something very unique and a bit, let's say, fine dining, right? It was fine dining.
It is a fine dining, but authentic Nepalese food in a sense that hotel grows their own food. They've got fields where they grow their own rice and different grains and vegetables. Essentially, it was local food, but obviously because it's fine dining, it was presented in very interesting ways. And it was a 6-course menu, so we got to taste a lot of things, from breads to rice to different meats.
I thought I wasn't going to get full up when I was seeing the dishes, because they were all small little bits, and I was like, okay, this place is going to be expensive and I'm not going to get full up. But trust me, by the end of it, because the food is so fresh and it's just so well made, you definitely get super full. And as I said, it's not the cheapest of places, so it's kind of a treat. And obviously we only went there because it was our anniversary and we wanted to see kind of the fine dining of Nepal. So that just brings me to the cost of how much it all costs. I had a lot of questions about this, but I think I covered it in some of the comments on the actual video itself. But obviously if you're new here, it was around $150 for the both of us, and that covered 12 meals if you think about it, because it was 6 courses each with a few drinks here and there. So $150, and I know by Nepalese standards that's you know, the highest of the highest. However, this was kind of, as I say, a very fine dining type of place where you don't go every day. You go on things like anniversaries, which for us, that's what it was. If you haven't watched that video, do make sure you go check it out, because it was one of the best experiences we had so far in Nepal. So yeah, I'll leave the details of that below as well.
And I think it's important to add, this place I think is very special as well, because a lot of influential people of the world have dined there. We're talking about the people like, you know, Hillary Clinton, Prince Charles, a lot of different worldly politicians, including Hollywood celebrities like Demi Moore and Selena Gomez. And they've got, you know, a wall of fame of people who've come there. That's how popular the place is. And also I wanted to mention how an amazing service we've received, and what an amazing welcome from the moment we walked in, where we had been welcomed with, you know, we got our hands washed and we had to take our shoes off. All the dishes were explained to us. All the staff are extremely smiley, very professional. It truly was a 5-star experience in every aspect of the way.
It was, yeah.
And also because it was our anniversary, we got some gifts in the end. We got, you know, traditional Nepali figurines, a representative of Hinduism gods, I think. Something for good luck and success and things like that, which we thought was a very nice touch. So yeah, overall, if it's your anniversary or birthday or any special occasion, we would highly recommend to go to the Varika Hotel and get a nice treat.
Yep. As we're on the subject of food, guys, that brings me to the next thing that, I'll be honest, I didn't think I would want to do it, but she made me do it. She said, we have to try a cooking class, a local cooking class. And I've never done that on any trips I've been to, any countries around the world. But for some reason,
I had to literally make him. So I just booked it in and I said, we're going. And it ended up being one of the most amazing experiences we've had together, right?
It was, yeah. So it was basically like in the middle of near Tamal, not too far, Tamal area. And it was me, yourself, and four or five other people. And we met some great people there. Some from Ireland, from the UK as well. And a
lady from Sweden, I think.
A lady from Sweden. And well, they lived in Ireland, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, like it was a great experience. I'm not much of a chef, but they taught me how to cook the famous dal bhat, which was just so good, as well as momo. Now, guys, I've called it momos in a lot of the other videos. However, I keep getting corrected by the local guys and saying it's not momos, it's momo. So, guys, leave a comment in the section below and let me know if there's more than one momo. It's momos. If it's one momo, I say momo. So
it's just a grammar thing for us.
Yeah.
When you say momos, it means it's just plural. But we get that a lot of local people were getting a bit aggravated.
Yeah, they were saying it's not momos, it's momo. So I don't know, guys. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? How should you say it? I'll happily say whatever the right way is. So yeah, we cooked like 5 dishes. We cooked some Nepalese style pizza, which was basically like a breakfast dish. But my favorite was, to be honest, it had to be the chocolate momos. Momo. Sorry. Momo. Yeah, like it was so good. So good. So highly recommend it, guys. It costs like $30 per person and you're there for like 4 hours.
Yeah, it was 4 hours, but I have to say that, you know, the ladies managing the whole process were absolutely fantastic. And if you watched our video for the class that we were in, I think you will agree. It's called Nepalese Cooking School. It's not just you come and cook. We had the pleasure of going to the market together with the girls that were teaching us how to cook. We picked our own vegetables. We've got to learn about the spices, cheeses. You know, we started everything from the scratch, and we also managed to experience the rickshaw ride.
Yeah, first rickshaw.
Yeah, and then we, you know, got to chop everything up and cook all 4 dishes from scratch. We did Nepalese pizza, which is an egg-based type of pizza, which was absolutely delicious. We did a chicken curry, dal bhat, rice, and I think some spinach or something like that. Yeah. And then the dessert was the chocolate momo.
So good. So guys, highly recommend doing that, and we'll leave their details below as well, so you can contact them and book them for yourself. So the next on the list is the famous Chandragiri Hills, and this was a place that we actually was very excited to go and see. Well, it's all going to depend on the day that you go, and hopefully the day that you go is going to be a clear sky, so you can get the best views of Kathmandu, because that's what a lot of people actually go to this location for. So essentially what it is, it's a location where it's about 2,500 meters above sea level, I believe. as you go up, and you're supposed to get 360 views of the whole of Kathmandu. However, when we went, unfortunately, it was a bit of a smoggy day, so we wasn't able to see the best views when we were up there. However, when you are there, there are some activities that you can do, such as horse riding, which is quite cool, as well as some restaurants just to have like a couple of drinks or a bit of food, nothing too heavy, but just kind of a chill out area. And if you're going with kids, they've also got kids area where you can also they can play around and just relax while you guys have some dinner and some drinks as well.
And do zip lines and all sorts of kids activities.
They've got a little mini zip line up there as well, which is quite fun to do. And to actually get up there per person, it was around $25. However, if you're a local Nepalese, it was much less than that. But for foreigners, you have to pay a little bit more. So guys, that's the end of the mini Kathmandu guide. I hope that it's really going to help some of you guys prior to your trips. However, if we haven't covered anything in this video, feel free to just put it in the comments below. Myself or the missus, she'll either respond, or the people of Nepal are so helpful. If we're not there, they usually just will comment on one of your comments for you, just to help you guys, because once again, the people of Nepal have been so hospitable, and one of the most hospitable countries I've ever visited in the world. So super grateful for the people of Nepal, and again, thank you to you guys to help me reach the 10k subscribers. So amazing, thank you so much for that, guys. And I think this is where we're going to end today's vlog. However, after today there will be another mini guide for the trekking, so you guys can know everything we did, the guide we used, the cost, and everything that's associated with it.
Thank you very much, guys. Just like you had said, Nepal is one of the most hospitable countries. I've never been hosted and treated as well as I've been in Nepal, so thank you for that.
Sorry about that.
And yeah, see you on the next one.
See you on the next one, guys. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and see you soon, guys. Peace out.